Hi, today I'll be painting Ultramarines with the Army Painter Air set. So I'll be focusing on painting a large model, or medium model, and a unit of Terminators. The paints and models today were supplied to me by DMZ Tabletop Gaming, so I really appreciate the support they've given me, and I really can't wait to test out these colors. So I'll only be using the primer, the grey primer in the box, and I'll be using Ultramarine Blue and White for the most part. I'll only be painting the armor itself, so I won't be doing any of the details like the guns or the rockets, but I'll put the colors I've used in the description below. So it says on the box that I don't need to thin any of these paints down, they're pre-thinned, and off the bat it's really good. I really like this primer. I've never really used grey. I usually use black and then I do a zenithal, but I wanted just to see how it would look, and it covers really well. This is how it looks. Really nice smooth job here. I usually don't cover the whole model, but I just wanted to see what it looks like now. So first off, I'm using the Ultramarine Blue and Black, and I'm mixing these 50-50 just to make it nice and dark, like a nice dark blue. On the camera it looks more black though, but in person it was more like Night Lord's blue from the Citadel workshop line. I now use Ultramarine Blue to start colouring the panels and added some highlights. And this is a really great model to practice on. I've had really good experiences with tanks, and definitely these dreadnoughts, because they're so boxy, right? So it's like an airbrusher's dream, and you can really play around with practicing how to keep your hand straight, airbrushing lines, and you can see as well I'm changing the pressure when I'm trying to get a nice fade. So I'll initially put it down quite, put the handle down all the way, and then I'll gently lift my finger off it to have a kind of gradient effect. For the Terminators, I just kind of do a zenithal effect now with the Ultramarine Blue. So now I mix Ultramarines Blue with matte white. I don't use too much white in this, but you can be the judge for yourself. Depends how how bright you want the highlights. I've just gone for a little bit of white, just to have a nice, so in that way, if it's not as bright as I want it to, then I can always add more white to it, and I found this is a safer. So see here, now I'm highlighting these corners. I messed up in the beginning. I should have made those corners Ultramarines Blue, so I got like the reflections the wrong way around. So you see now it looks more dynamic and a bit more 3D, right? So for the front carapace, I kind of do a zenithal effect, and then for the crotch piece, here's a crotch, I spray it, like I kind of do a line across just to make it look shiny, and I do the same with the knees and the leg panels. For the bottom parts of the legs, I kind of decided just to have the light coming from the back, and also it's touching the front, so it's actually not that realistic, but I did kind of try to make it look dynamic and interesting. And for here as well, this is a bit more realistic. I highlighted the round part of the pipes area. So I just added some slight highlights for the Terminator, for example on the areas that would be catching the light the most. So don't go over the top when it comes to the final highlight. I used the same mix, the blue and the white. I added a bit more white for this part because I wanted to really outline the boxy parts. So yeah, you just go around it now using the edge of your brush. Make sure it's thinned enough, and just keep being patient because this can get a bit tedious, and just keep finding areas to edge highlight. You don't have to do the whole model, to be honest, just the predominant areas that are the areas that are predominantly visible, for example the front carapace, the top and the bottom parts of the shoulders, and the knee pads and so on. So here's the Terminator, all done. I will paint the helmet white later on and paint the gun and so on. But yeah, I really like this paint. I really had a great time. It's very smooth. The gradients effect came out really well, I feel. Yeah, I'm really chuffed with it, very clean. And this is the Dreadnought. I'm really chuffed with this one. And after adding all the other parts like the silvers and the blacks and so on, actually came out really well, and I'll just show you that in a second. But yeah, these are great paints, and really appreciate DMZ for sponsoring today's video. Thank you very much.